Welcome to the show where ex-evangelicals watch and talk about movies.
The ones we weren't allowed to experience while being raised in the church because, Satan and stuff.
I'm Donovan.
And I'm Zach, and Jesus stole our movies.
So let's go find a gypsy and fix a little boxing match and steal this movie back.
What is that? What is that a reference to?
That's Snatch, the Guy Ritchie movie.
Oh, he's a traveler. That's different.
I was about to say, can we even say gypsy anymore? I don't think that's a nice thing. I don't even think you could say that, right? That's not a cool thing to say. Huh?
Yeah, it's Romany.
That was Snatch, the movie with Brad Pitt that Guy Ritchie directed. So it was kind of lame. I only have 2 plot points anyway. There's literally 19 people in that movie that I could have went with, and I chose the main guy. So my bad.
It's fun. It's still fun. I didn't know it was a heist movie.
Well, they fix the match and they steal the money from that one dude that they give the painting to. So I guess it's technically a heist. They also do that thing with the diamond that they steal. So it's technically a heist. There's a lot of tomfoolery going on where they're stealing stuff.
Okay.
So don't look, man. Don't poke holes in my logic. I just thought about it 30 seconds ago.
Well, welcome back, everybody, to Jesus Stole Our Movies. We are back with Alec and Steve from the This Fire podcast, and we're going to actually finish The Matrix this week.
No promises. Don't promise anything.
We got approximately 22 minutes into the film.
We got part 3 coming up, and if we're mirroring The Matrix, last week was a setup that made sense. This week we're going to get into the weeds and it's going to get confusing, and then we'll do one more next week that's going to be immeasurably disappointing.
I agree with that. That's probably what's going to happen.
So the setup is that last week, if you missed it, which I don't know why you would come back for part 2 if you missed the first one, but usually we talk about movies that we were denied in childhood. Donovan and I were denied in childhood because of strict religious upbringing. The Matrix is a little different because Jesus stole that movie in the manner of being completely appropriated by the evangelical church in the 90s. Matrix is the most preached about movie, I believe somebody said somewhere. I don't know if that's a real statistic. I heard somebody say that, and so
it was at one point for sure.
American tradition. I'm just going to repeat shit that I have no backing to say. But yeah, the churches preached on this. Our church that I went to did not, but their churches preached on this. It's a whole thing, a complete co-opting of this film and this narrative by the Christian church. So we're going to go through and point out the sillies and talk about that as we go.
Mm-hmm. So I was going to check in really quick before we jumped into the flick and see if anybody has watched anything recently since we met last.
Have you guys ever seen the movie Dark City?
Yes.
Okay. You got to check. So Zach, you got to check this out. So I watched it because of us talking about this, to be honest, because
of course
that came out. So Matrix was early 99. Dark City was early 98. And I remember seeing it in college, a few years later, and was shocked. We talked about the Matrix co-opting things from Blade or anime or whatever, and the Wachowskis kind of wore all that stuff on their sleeve. I had at the time, I guess, had never seen, oh man, the Wachowskis straight up took all this stuff from Dark City. But when you watch that movie, it's clear the Wachowskis took some stuff from this movie, Dark City. It's an Alex Proyas movie from, again, I think it was February 98 it came out, so a little over a year before The Matrix. It's got Kiefer Sutherland and not 90s Jennifer Connelly, so how can you go wrong? But it's basically I don't want to spoil it because I think it's worth watching. It's definitely dated in, I would say, different ways than The Matrix. The CG in it's very bad.
Yeah.
But it's got a lot of very striking visuals, and it's very much so in that pocket of uncanny city where a guy wakes up and and nothing seems to be right. It's like The Matrix. I mean, literally within the first 5 minutes of it, Kiefer Sutherland, who is kind of fulfilling the Morpheus role, gives the main character a call on a landline phone and is like, this guy just woke up. He's in a bathtub. He doesn't know why he's there. There's a dead woman next to him. There's like kind of these weird syringes all around. And he gets a call from Kiefer Sutherland who's like, you need to get up right now. You need to leave that room. They're coming for you. You need to move. And so I mean, it's literally
Wow.
beat for beat the same thing. Um, but in this kind of different it's kind of got like an aesthetic that's like the Tim Burton Batman movies kind of meets
Yeah.
like it's like that meets the Matrix, let's say. And the without getting super into the spoilery weeds of it, basically every night at midnight everything shuts down. Everybody kind of spontaneously falls asleep. The whole city shuts down, and there's these big kind of pale white dudes who kind of look like Quan Chi from Mortal Kombat 4, if you're familiar. And they come out and they reorganize stuff. So they kind of position people around and they shuffle around the city, almost like Doctor Strange, where he'd like reality would fold in on itself. And so they can reorganize the city, and they're clearly like kind of conducting experiments. So then when they snap their fingers and time restarts, everything's reshuffled. So the couple that was poor and down on their luck are now super wealthy, and they're kind of just like observing how people are interacting with each other.
Mhm.
And it's this kind of weird supernatural sci-fi kind of thing, but very much so in the Matrix vein. And like if you're doing like a double feature, I think it's kind of worth checking out because
Absolutely.
I don't see enough comparison between the two. I mean, I know like academically speaking, a lot of if you go on YouTube now, there's a lot of like video essays that are like, hey, look at the weird coincidences between these two movies. But it's at least at the time, like I remember seeing it in like it would have been 2003, 2004, and just being kind of shocked at how much like whether it was just kind of concurrent thought or whether the Wachowskis saw this and were like, yeah, we need to incorporate this, and this. There's so many direct connections. It feels like it was genuinely kind of shocking. So, like I watched that this week, and I think, like I said, some of it's a little dated, some of it
Mhm.
holds up, but it's definitely worth watching.
I remember how creepy that one was.
Yeah.
It's so good and striking, but there's just so many elements of it that are like it's just unsettling, but in a cool way where you're like, all right, this has got my attention.
Yeah.
Especially the one short one, like because there's like a
The
short one out
kid.
of the yes,
Yeah.
he's so creepy.
I think the best way to describe this movie is if instead of the Wachowskis taking all of their inspiration from anime and Hong Kong fights, if they had just watched a lot of Nine Inch Nails music videos, like the same kind of thing, but industrial and gross and creepy like that, So
Hell yeah, I
Is
definitely
it
agree with that.
is it also 2.5 hours long?
no, it's actually 90 minutes long,
Oh,
so it's a
good.
much
Okay.
easier watch. I would say I would recommend going out of your way to try to find the director's cut because the version I watched this week, which was the theatrical version,
Mhm.
um, I think it was on Prime. It was just like accessible. It has like Blade Runner style uh VO at the top, like the theatrical cut of Blade Runner, where they forced Ridley Scott to like over narrate it and like
Mhm.
explain exactly what's going on. This is Los Angeles. It's been taken over by mega corporations. The Blade Runner is a robot, that kind of thing. So, like, there's a narration at the top of the theatrical cut of this where Kiefer Sutherland basically gives up, let's say, the first 45 minutes worth of plot points just in like a narration,
Oh,
which
geez.
if you're looking for a mystery movie, it's maybe worth not seeing that version because there's a lot of good kind of twists and turns if you don't know what's going on, and go into it a little disoriented. So,
Hmm.
The best movies start with heaps of exposition.
yes, exactly.
How will I know what the movie's about if they don't tell me right out of the gate?
I feel like it's like an old theatrical trick. They used to get up in front and like, before you'd watch the musical or like a play or whatever, and they'd be like, "You're
Yeah,
about to enter a world where, you know, James Smith is doesn't know what's going on, but da 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 da," and
like the old
so
Frankenstein intro. My
yeah, kind of.
friends. What about you guys? You guys watch anything interesting?
Uh, I watched a lot of the anime Blue Lock this week.
Nice.
It's a sports anime about soccer.
Oh, that's cool. I've never even heard of that.
Yeah, it's real intense, very dramatic.
Oh, snap. That's awesome. What do you watch it on, like Crunchyroll?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's pretty dope. Yeah, I've never even heard of that. Is it like super stylized too? Is it like the
Oh
action?
yes, it's the kind of thing where it's like I mean, it's a sports anime, so it's like they're doing very ordinary things like playing soccer, but then they have these auras around them, like they're like going Super Saiyan or whatever.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, that's
And
awesome.
there's a stylized thing of like the main character trying to like rebuild how he actually like plays the game, and it shows it by like puzzle pieces kind of making up his entire
Oh,
body and how
that's
he's
pretty
changing
cool.
that. And yeah, so it's very cool.
Hell
So
yeah,
you get sucked into a sports anime sometimes, and it's not.
that's really cool.
Yeah,
I haven't
sometimes
watched a lot of sports
those
anime.
are the ones that I get like the most attached
Really?
to. Is yeah, it's like, oh, suddenly you're like, I'm not like a sports guy, but suddenly when they're like, you know, when a guy with like pink hair is running through the field,
Hell yeah,
I'm
man.
down with it.
I've checked out a couple of like the cooking ones, which is
Oh
also it's
yeah,
very similar in what you're talking about, where like
it's
it's just
very
a dude
similar.
cutting radishes and he's like, "Nah."
Yeah, it's exactly like Food Wars. Yeah,
Yes,
it's got
exactly.
the same vibe exactly.
I put it
Yeah.
on for my wife because she's super into like Chef's Table and stuff. I'm like, let's check this out.
Oh no, Food Wars is so pervy.
We haven't watched it yet though.
Oh, okay. Be
um,
prepared.
How can a
I
cooking show be pervy? That's disturbing.
because it's
I don't want to spoil it.
God.
I'll report back.
Okay, sounds good.
I watched a bunch of Kunk on Life. I mean, Kunk on Earth. That's the one I watched, which is
Mm.
hilarious. It's like my favorite series right now. But I also watched Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes with my wife, and it was good, but it was almost 3 hours long,
Oh my god.
and it
Ooh,
was
it sounds
not
like a show.
necessary. And that's the whole thing that kept getting to me. Like we were watching, I'm like, this is an okay movie, but I kept checking my watch. I'm like, this is insane that we're still watching this movie. There's so much that could have been cut out of that. The acting was great, the story was cool, the writing was cool, but yeah, it was just overlong, man. They could have trimmed a lot of that fucking movie.
Is it something in Andy Serkis's contract that says he has to be in films that do not go under 2 hours and 25 minutes long?
It's the circus clause.
The Circus Claus.
Um,
That's gonna be a super meta like Santa Claus type movie that comes out in a few years.
oh, don't sign the paper because then you just become Andy Serkis, and then people
Yeah,
just
right.
looking at you, do the Gollum thing. Do the Gollum
I
thing.
don't want to be Gollum.
You slip
Meanwhile,
on the
he's growing
motion suit
polyps
and you
on his
become
throat.
him.
Meanwhile, the poor man's growing polyps on his throat because like he's been doing the same voice for freaking 30 years.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Do
Well,
it, do it, do it.
do the
I
roar.
watched I caught up on like 2 or 3 episodes of the Kaneko Man anime that has been on Netflix.
Nico Man. What is
Kin-
that?
Kaneko Man is Muscle Man. I don't you might remember the anime
Okay.
Muscle from back in the day.
Yeah.
It's basically like superhero wrestlers,
Mhm.
and it's
Is that what they do with like the mohawk like mask kind of thing?
yeah.
Okay. I got you.
What did muscle stand for? It was like many uncanny that's something, like there was like an acronym for it, wasn't there?
Millions of strange, unusual creatures lurking everywhere.
There it is.
And it's not time for that. But the entire beam of my basement is just lined with muscle dudes.
Hell yeah.
Oh wow, yeah.
But like, I mean, it's cool. It's just your typical like shonen superhero thing, but with wrestling. So like, there's and violence, extra violence.
Listen, sports anime are coming back.
See, I want to see some translated, licensed translated Tiger Mask. Like, I think Tiger Mask is the coolest
Yeah.
fucking idea. It's like everything is very, very straight, just strong style pro wrestling, but like it in a manga form and an anime form. And like, there's on Tubi, there's Tiger Mask W, which has like current New Japan wrestlers in it. Like Kenny Omega is in the anime as
That's
himself. And,
That's very cool.
Wow.
Who else is in it? What's his name? Handsome man with long hair. Ace. Fuck, I can't remember his name.
It's on the tip of my tongue. God
Yeah.
dang it.
And every time I watch him wrestle, I'm like, yeah, I love that guy, but I can't remember his name.
I can't help you. I'm
Oh.
sorry.
You don't know
I know
weird
exactly who
Japanese
you're
wrestling?
talking
Yeah, you
about.
know exactly. Because,
Yeah,
I
plays
just
plays
can't.
it plays air guitar. He has
Mhm.
like scarves. God dang it!
Yeah,
Oh, I think I do know what you're talking about. I don't know
pisses
his
me
name, but I
off
know
that
who
it-
you're talking about.
let's see. Let's.
Isn't he like a fucking meme?
No. He's just great, super babyface wrestler, man, that everybody loves.
Are we talking about a real person right now?
Yes, he's very
Okay.
handsome as well.
My
Hiroshi
bad.
Tanahashi.
Tanahashi, yeah.
There it
I
is.
thought we were talking about an anime. My bad. I was so lost.
But yeah, no. So, yeah, I watched the Kinniku Man anime, and it's cool, but it's just super people pile driving each other from like 100 feet in the air and like tearing out each other's spines and stuff. So that's
Yeah.
fun.
I assume you're watching like the like non 4 kids version of it.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, it's
4
new.
kids.
So like this is the first Kaneko Man anime that's been on TV in like
20 years.
20 years, something like that. Yeah,
You say it's
I don't
new episodes?
yeah, and it's on
Oh, that's
Netflix.
cool. Okay,
But
that's
like
cool.
it builds on all the previous continuity. So if you don't even have the
Mm.
slightest idea of what's going on, it's like, okay, who are these people and why do we
That's
care?
the best kind of comeback for a show is when they don't explain anything and it's just like you had to have watched this thing 20 years ago in order to get what's going on.
Oh my
So-
god.
Kineko Man actually started in the 60s in the Weekly Shonen Jump. And like it's a hugely popular product in Japan. Like you'll see figures and like the art everywhere. Like it's hugely popular even since like the 70s and the 60s and the 80s, and the big boom of popularity was an anime in the 80s, and this picks up after the anime in the 80s, but kind of discounts the one in the middle in the 2000s because that's an alternate reality.
Oh, I see. I see. There's erasure going on then.
You know what else is an alternate reality? The Matrix.
Zach's like, let's get this thing on track. We got to get through this movie.
Oh no, I'm sorry. I didn't.
No.
I don't want to make you feel like I'm.
No,
It's fine.
It is also.
You just knew that we could talk about this for like the next 3 hours.
Well, yeah.
So,
Then we'll be on like part 7 of the Matrix, and we'll only get to like.
this is
the
a
next
muscle
one.
podcast now. Sorry.
There's a reason that it took us over 6 hours to record Van Helsing.
Oh god.
The battle continues until Neo nearly does something superhuman, but stops just short. Morpheus tells him to free his mind, and the training simulation shifts to a program where Morpheus tries to teach Neo to jump good. But alas, everyone falls the first time, and when they leave the Matrix, Neo is bruised and battered, learning that if you die in the Matrix, you die in real life. Trinity brings Neo a little snacky as he sleeps off his beating, and is confronted by Cypher, played here by Joey Pantaleone, which we affectionately refer to as Joey Pants. Cypher is a total creep. Like he's just sitting there watching the Matrix code going, I don't even see the code anymore. I just see blonde, brunette. Like how horny do you have to be to translate code into ladies?
Does he count as like an incel? He's just watching, but he can't have.
Dude, he's kind of incelish, yeah. Like, especially since ostensibly he's watching real people that are living their lives in the Matrix.
Oh my god, he's like a voyeur. That's
creepier.
good.
And
There's
who's
a part
to say-
too where he's watching Trinity like talking to Neo too, and it's like the way he's watching her do that is.
Oh, he's
really
so
cool.
mad. He's so mad that the new guy is even remotely anywhere near the attractive lady.
So creepy. And like Joey Pants is doing a hell of a good job in this movie. I think we mentioned last week how great some of the performances in this film are. And like he's working his ass off, and it's really, really great. Cut to Morpheus, who the agent said was the most dangerous man in the world, walking as big as you please and as conspicuous as hell in a giant leather duster down a crowded city street, gliding effortlessly through the bustle as Neo tries desperately to keep up as he blunders and bumps his way through the throng of pedestrians. Morpheus goes on and on about people not wanting to leave the simulation, how they need to be freed, but they enjoy their shackles, blah, 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 wisdom and exceptionalism. When Neo notices a lady, Morpheus says to stop creeping. Because, look again, it's one of those agents. and the
Oh,
training
snap.
program freezes. As Morpheus explains, the agents are sentient programs that are basically omniscient in the Matrix and are superhuman. But the one can beat him, and you, Neo, are the one.
Oh, snap. Do you like the woman in the red dress? Look again. It's like, oh,
You fucking creep.
Neo's like, joke's on you. I'm into this too.
Morpheus trying to entrap him only for
that's hilarious. Oh shit, I was gonna point out too, the whole thing about like him telling him he only needs to believe to be able to like unlock all the kung fu and to be able to leap buildings and shit. It made me think about prosperity gospel. You know,
Mm,
like
Oh
how
yeah.
like if you think hardcore enough, like Kenneth Hagin and like faith healing and shit, if you just believe hardcore enough, you can achieve anything, like the power of God. And that made me think about that. That could be a whole other way that they were trying to tap into this,
yeah.
jack
Sure.
into it.
And sure, like and we see all the time, manifestation
Yeah.
is a huge thing in prosperity gospel and other, faith healing sects. But if there was manifestation by any other name than Christ, it's demonic. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Mm.
And it's literally just believing God. And what's the line that the preachers use all the time? I will return your investment sevenfold.
Yeah. So sow your seed in the soil, and
Mhm.
God loves tenfold giving. And I don't know what it is about 10, 100, 1,000. God loves it. Just give it.
Nice round numbers.
Yeah, right. No, because uneven numbers are the devil.
In the simulation, alarms go off. There's trouble out in the real world as the Nebuchadnezzar has been detected. They fly off to hide from some hunter killer machines called Sentinels, and they successfully evade them. Later, Neo talks to Cypher, who is sus as fuck, seeding doubts in Neo's mind. And later, we see Cypher at dinner with the agent. This backstabber is getting ready to sell everyone out so he can get back into the Matrix and enjoy some nice non-fungible steak.
Listen, I'm not the biggest steak fan in the world, but one, that steak looked good.
Mhm.
Two, you throw a pizza in front of me, I'd be like, yeah, no, my friends are over there. I so
What toppings are we talking? Because that's gonna get you that. If we got more than one topping, that gets you more than one person.
My
simple toppings, well done, good ingredients. We
Better
only have
pizza.
pepperoni, but
Better
it's high quality.
pizza. Better ingredients. Papa Morpheus.
Papa Morpheus. Papa Mose. It's actually, this begs the question to me: how is Cypher a guy that was a hacker? So is everybody on the Nebuchadnezzar other than Tank and Dozer that were ejected from the Matrix? Are they people that Morpheus thought was the one because they were really great hackers,
I think
and
so.
he just
So-
mistakenly took them?
Have you ever seen the Animatrix?
No.
So they did. So it was actually kind of interesting. It was around the time that Reloaded came out. They did anime shorts. So it's like, I think it's like only like about 45 minutes long, but it's like 5-10 minute long shorts. And there's several of them that are like mostly about like there's the line that Morpheus says where it's like we don't take people out after a certain age because it
Mhm.
breaks their brain or whatever. And there's at least like two of those shorts that are there's one that's like an Olympic runner. There's one about a kid who thinks he's like living in a haunted house, but really it's like Matrix glitches. And it's like
wow.
it's like people who are extraordinary to the point where the rules kind of just stop applying to them. And I think like a lot of those cartoons ended up implying that like that's how they would pull themselves out and get rescued by whether it was Morpheus or another team was like, here's a kid that had faith and was interfacing with the supernatural. Here's the guy that could run supernaturally fast. And it was like, because he was breaking world records, he broke himself out of the Matrix or was about to break himself out of the Matrix before the agent stopped him. So I think there
That's
was
pretty
some
cool.
like, it not necessarily needing to be a hacker or the one, but like people who are just predisposed to kind of shriving off the reality of the Matrix and being able to like break out.
So what you're saying is Cypher was the world's biggest creep, and he was such a creep that he creeped himself out of the Matrix.
World record holder pervert. It's like Cypher. We've noticed your internet activity is very interesting. We could use you.
He's that
Oh
guy
my
that
God.
turns completely around in the street when he sees a woman walking by, just to look at her butt.
Oh my
And
lord.
puts the glasses down real slow, like Dwayne Wade.
What do we got over here? Is that a lady in a red dress?
We need one pervert on every ship because they will work so hard at decoding the Matrix
Aye, aye,
that none of
Captain.
us have to do it. They'll just do it for us.
Right.
We cut to the mess hall where a squirrely Pete Davidson looking guy is chattering about how do the machines know what food tasted like or some such, because you know that's some college freshman that's going to be sitting there, oh, how do they know what chicken tastes like? And it's just like, this was all so annoying. But you know, somebody on the internet, at least maybe not in 1999, but somebody on the internet would be a super pedantic, like, how do they know what the color blue is? They're machines. Um,
Who cares?
right. It's a movie, bro. He chatters about how the machines know about how food tastes like or some such, as the crew tucks into their delicious nutritional slop trademark, now with extra gritty bits. Interesting plot, interesting point, but a bit silly. This guy's name is Mouse, and Mouse is also a creep. He's trying to pimp out his program. He says, "You like the lady in the red dress, don't you?" And I'm like, oh God.
He's Cypher's apprentice.
The understudy.
There are always two perverts,
No.
never one.
A master
travel in
and an
pairs.
apprentice.
He says Renfield.
Oh God.
Before the awkward meal can escalate to any further heights of cringe, Morpheus says, "Bring us up. We're going in to take Neo to see the Oracle." Ooh, so ominous. It's played so serious.
Mhm.
Like the Oracle is such a big deal, and Morpheus opens her. He's like, "I'm going to take him in," and everybody looks and stops and goes,
Oh,
"You what?" It's like
oh,
a Speed
shit.
Racer moment of, "Oh."
Huh?
Like, what's kind of like crazy watching it now, like, because it's so hard to put yourself in the mindset of seeing it for the first time. Like, they do kind of set it up where it's like they're doing like the jumping program. And I think it's Cypher that says, like, if he's so sure, why hasn't he taken, Neo to go see the Oracle yet? Like, he's scared to take him because he doesn't want to be told that that's not, the one or
Right.
whatever. They do
Right.
set it up a little bit, but like I remember just like watching this as a high schooler and just like the plot points just kind of washing over me. Like, they're doing this because they're doing this. All right,
Mhm.
yeah, I guess it's time to see the
Right.
Oracle. Like, I don't know what this means or whatever. Like, so like it's clear that they did try to set things like that up, but it also
Yeah.
just kind of feels like it's happening because the plot dictates it's happening.
Is them also saying that, like, the line about him being afraid to take him to the Oracle, is that like judgment of witnessing, where it's like, oh, you're too afraid to witness to
Oh, there you
to
go.
this
Yeah.
guy?
I
yeah.
like where Alex head's at trying to wrap this around to the
We
thesis.
gotta bring it back.
In a super stylish yet motion sickness inducing shot, the camera rotates around the crew, reclined in their chairs, spinning as the deck of the Nebuchadnezzar cuts to a plush room, and our drab, ragged renegades transform into super stylish cool dudes who stand and pose really cool and really stylish as generic techno that sounds like it was used on Samurai Jack later to much better effect plays in the soundtrack.
Agreed.
Hell yeah.
And they just look so silly cool. Like, this is what a 12-year-old idea of a cool dude looks like. Everybody's in a long coat.
Mhm.
Everybody's like in leather. You know what I mean? Like, it's such a strange. I would be very interested to track the fashion influence of like long leather dusters back through movies to see like why this was a thing in the mid to late 90s.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like, did somebody that was costume designer on like The Crow go to Paris Fashion Week, and one dude had a bunch of dusters in his like fall collection or whatever?
So here's the thing, right? And I was talking about Dark City before. So Dark
Yeah.
City, created by Alex Proyas, who was like the guy who directed The Crow.
Mhm.
And so it's The Crow. Alex Proyas takes his like kind of pet project, Dark City. Is going to do that. All of the bad guys in Dark City are in long leather coats.
Mhm.
Like, they're just dressed like goth versions of the Matrix crew. Uh, I want to say there was like script polishing that happened between like because Alex Proyas's original script for Dark City was like kind of unwieldy, so they took it to the studios and they're like, you got to polish this up. We're hooking you up with David Goyer,
Oh
who
yeah.
worked on Blade,
Hmm.
and again, leather clad, all that stuff. And then I want to say, like, so I have to confirm this, but like one of the videos that I watched online after watching Dark City was talking about how some of the props and set found its way to the Matrix because it was like shared. Like, I mean, the Dark City was a New Line production, but I think shared some of the same production facilities.
Hmm.
And so I'm not saying that there's like one to one, but it's like clearly like there's a thread of that late 90s, like, like, Pro, Blade, Dark City, Matrix. And then it's like
Sting
the
in the
Matrix
rafters.
ends it because at that point it's like, oh, this is the Matrix aesthetic.
Yeah. Completely
And-
took it.
And Sting in the rafters.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
So, like, but like, where I want to know where that comes from, because obviously that maybe that's because a lot of this stuff is very industrial, like techno club, sort of like
Yeah.
everything looks like it comes from a German warehouse. Was
I mean,
this
if
a
you're
thing
talking
that-
about literally where does it come from, I'm confident the answer is Hot Topic, but it's
So, the cool criminals, terrorists, or hackers, or whatever they are, ride through the city in a car, Neo marveling at the complexity of the program on display. When Neo expresses regret that the memory of his favorite noodle spot. When Neo expresses regret that the memory of his favorite noodle spot is not real, I feel that extremely deeply. You poor, poor man.
he's
If I
so
lost
real
my
for that.
favorite noodle spot, I'd be so sad.
Mhm.
Good noodles are the right of all sentient beings. Neo
If we ever do this in person, there's a noodle place in Buffalo. I'll take you guys to. It's out of control. Like,
wow.
Oh,
yeah.
shit.
Oh,
I
don't
might go
tempt me.
might go for that.
I'm a noodle man.
You're not
That's
that,
like my
you're not that
favorite
far
fucking
away. You're on the other side of Lake Erie.
thing. Neo asks about the Oracle, and Trinity hints at a prophecy given to her, and he asks if the Oracle knows all. To which Morpheus replies super extra cryptically, because Morpheus. At the Oracle,
I just want to throw out there too. The Oracle was super underwhelming to me, even as a kid when I watched this. Like how you were talking about, like it felt like it was like building up to something or something. When it finally reveals this, I was like, nah.
I mean, I guess that's kind of the point, right?
Yeah.
It's like
Okay.
they're all dressed in leather, or in the real world they're all in like rags and whatever, and they're like, oh man, the Oracle is gonna be great, and then it ends up just being like a kindly older woman that's just kind of living her life, and
Right.
But
I
I
feel like
personally love that bit because it's such a subversion of expectation. What do you expect the Oracle to be like? Some person standing above a crack of the earth, inhaling the vapors of the volcano,
No.
swathed in gases. Like I just feel not you
I mean,
specifically,
that's
Donovan,
cool.
but like they walk in and the Oracle is surrounded by a billion TV screens
Right.
and like CRT
Like the
monitors.
architect.
we're not there yet. We're not there yet.
No, I get what you're saying.
That's
and
her boyfriend.
I get what you're saying 100%. I feel like I just felt like it was too much leaning into that. You know what I mean? I felt like it leaned too heavy into the isn't this just a normal person? I felt like it was a little too heavy-handed with it. You know what I'm saying? I get what you're saying though. I do like the idea of like, oh, it's not what you expected, but I felt like it's not what you expected at all because she's also old and in her kitchen. And you're like, wait, what?
He's got cookies.
You're right.
That should be good enough.
Plus the whole like, the stereotypical aspect of the shit they did. So,
Oh yeah,
Sure.
we're about to talk about that. At the Oracle's apartment, Neo is introduced to other potential ones who are manipulating the Matrix freely, bending spoons, levitating blocks, and oh man, they're playing Night of the Lepus on the back of the TV screen in the background. Awesome. I love picking out movies in movies.
Mhm.
And that's Night of the Lepus. It's a 1970s giant killer rabbit movie, if anyone was not aware. They just
Nope.
make the rabbits big and they get a lust for flesh.
Hell
So
yeah.
they had to shoot these rabbits on like miniature sets to make them look bigger, and they gave
Oh,
them a
yeah.
bunch of like raspberries to chew, so it looked like they had blood in their mouths.
Oh
And
my
they're just
goodness.
I gotta
adorable
check this
bunnies.
out. That sounds awesome.
It's great. Also, DeForest Kelly's in the movie, so that's great. There's more cultural appropriation that happens as a little boy explains to Neo that he is not, in fact, bending spoons with his mind because, well, there is no spoon.
Oh
And
shit!
yes, the old steal Eastern philosophy and claim it as exotic mysticism trick happens again. Because apparently we're just good at doing that as Westerners.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But how does the spoon know how tasty wheat tastes?
It's the spoon
Man.
program that knows how to. And he's just bending them spoons. Like I don't know if I completely. I get the metaphor that yes, this does not exist, and I am changing a program. And I don't know how coding works, so I don't know if that would actually work. Like if I knew how coding works, this probably wouldn't hold up at all. Because like right, if you just pull one strand, everything just kind of fucks up.
Yeah,
I don't know.
basically. It becomes a spork immediately.
You're bending a spoon, and then all of a sudden it becomes a jackhammer, and everybody's just like, "What the fuck? It just happened."
This spoon thing was like one of my father's biggest things, and he was like a very hardcore Christian, and this was like the thing he hung on to for why this was a Christian movie. I don't even
Really?
remember how he rationalized it, but it was about accepting Jesus makes you realize that we can bend the spoon or something. It was just he paused this movie and did his own sermon for like 15 minutes about it. I remember just sitting there watching him like with my mouth open, like, what the hell is happening?
It's like, what are you talking about? This is not that deep.
No, not at all. It's like it's a little bald kid bending a spoon.
Receiving
He's
the
in the
gold,
Matrix.
receiving the gold medal for mental gymnastics in the Christian Olympics is Donovan's dad.
Oh, dude, when he went on a rant the same way about Shark Tale about how it was an allegory for gay people.
Oh.
Shark Tale?
Oh no!
Shark Tale. He was like, you don't get it. It's about a shark that wants to be a dolphin because he wants to be gay, and Sebastian's a gay name anyway, so it's all about being gay.
What the fuck?
I feel like he's editorializing there.
Dude,
With-
that's what I said.
That fish's name was
Yeah.
Sebastian.
Yeah, the shark changed his name to Sebastian when he was a dolphin.
It's like
So
yeah,
it was-
just like
yeah.
DreamWorks wanted to change his name to Disney.
Heyo, got his ass.
The Oracle calls Neo in, and we are treated to an absolutely stellar performance by Miss Gloria Foster. She's warm, mysterious, and oh no, a racist trope. Boo. And like I'm thinking in the back of my head, I really hope they cast Miss Foster for this because of her performance at first, and not that they did the really bad racist trope,
Mhm.
and that's just incidental. But a lot of this film is extremely intentional, so take this as you will. That is a thing, and if someone out there doesn't know, it is a trope in like Western fiction, American English, whatever, white people fiction, I guess, that the merely exoticism of someone being a person of color makes them mystical or magical in some way. And there's a name for it, but I'm not gonna say it on.
Yeah, I mean, was the Green Mile was this year or the previous year too, right? I mean,
Oh man.
Yeah. Mhm.
like kind of in that same pocket of, I mean, like, listen, the Green Book came out, whatever, 5 years ago, and well, maybe not magical, was still playing with a lot of those driving Miss Daisy style tropes, and I
Yes.
mean, it's not something that's gone away in a lot of ways.
And it's not something that just happened in this movie or the Green Mile. Like this is a through line that happens in a lot of novels and movies and fiction. It's just a sort of a thing that anybody that's not us has some tapped into a universe we can't understand, which is kind of odd to me, especially when a lot of that stuff is itself rooted in white supremacy.
Yeah.
So who knows where that comes from? How do you get there from that? I don't understand.
I wonder if it's like a white guilt thing. Like, you ever talk to like somebody who's like, I mean, not to go down this rabbit hole, but like, like Trump supporters, and you talk about kind of like the latent racism in his rhetoric, and then you'll have white Christian person who's just like, I don't judge anybody. I don't judge anybody by the color of their skin. I do it by the content of their character. And like, with the magical black person trope, you'll have this thing where it's almost like white people being able to say, what are you talking about? We respect them more than we respect ourselves. We gave them the divine. We attributed these magical powers to them, but like, never exploring the fact that the flip side's true too, where you'll also ascribe voodoo to them or whatever it is, where it's like, like they're dangerous and
I mean,
not us.
it's the old like positive racism kind of thing, where it's like, even if you're giving them magic powers or whatever, or like, giving them stereotypical traits that are like, I guess, good, you're still making them a stereotype. You're still attributing something different to other them in some way.
Yep.
Everything boils down to othering.
Yep.
The Oracle makes sport of Neo in her fabulous mid-century kitchen, being all mysterious and mystical, speaking of knowing things to be true without data. Kind of like Faith. Faith? Suck my nuggets, atheists! She says, Neo isn't the one after all, but maybe he's waiting to be the one in his next life, which I actually really love that line, and I never noticed it before. And I was like, oh man, that's so cool.
He just needs to marinate a little bit more.
And that made me sit up, and because I've seen this movie, I know what happens, and it's just like, oh, okay, I see what you guys did there. That's okay.
So like, this is like jumping back like 40 minutes in the movie. Did you notice that when Neo is being interrogated by Agent Smith, like at the almost very beginning of the movie, right? The whole like bug scene, the way that transitions into that scene is through a wall of CRT TVs, which obviously if you're watching this in 1999, it's just like, oh, it's security camera footage. But obviously, like, it comes back, like we're talking about like the in your next life thing. It comes back and reloaded with a vengeance, because that's kind of the crux of it. Is Neo has done this over and over and over again. There's always a one, there's always a trinity, there's always like all of these ingredients, and then the Matrix restarts. So like I do genuinely wonder how many of these ideas they had in mind, and they're like, no, we know where this is going, or whether that was just kind of window dressing and mystical stuff that they kind of hung on it, like, and then they said, well, what can we use, what did we set up, what would be a cool way for the story to go, versus what did they have in mind in 1999.
Like George Lucas with making his brother and sister kiss, and he was like, no, I got a plan.
I got a plan. I'm a pervert.
Trust me. You're not ready for this, but your kids are going to love it.
Oh, God.
Anyways.
I didn't mean that to be that loaded of a sentence. That was a Back to the Future reference.
No, I got it perfectly.
Didn't play. All right.
George Lucas, the originator of the Stepsister story. Neo and the Oracle talk about Morpheus being wrong about Neo being the one, but believing so strongly that he'll sacrifice himself for it, just like the martyrs and you people out there who insist on yelling Merry Christmas at baristas. It's all connected, kids. Like, just like people are willing to die for their faith and being so persecuted because it doesn't say Merry Christmas all the time. And she continues on with riddles and cryptic mystical nonsense, blah blah blah.
And she gives him a cookie.
Oh, he feels right as rain.
Yep.
It's just it's kind. I don't know. I really like the calmness, because you get such a sort of urgency, and like everything is. It's like an island of normalcy.
Yeah. And this is like the last moment like that too. Yeah. I mean, like this movie picks up steam considerably at this point. So.
And like Neo has been thrust into this very foreign world. He's been pulled away from a life that he's familiar with, and he goes back to something that is so completely mundane, while something very mystical happens. I kind of appreciate that. And
I almost wonder if
you
it
know,
would have been stronger without the waiting room full of quote unquote other ones to really sell that, where it's just like if they're just in her living room and whatever, because I mean, I get what they're doing with the kid and the bending
yeah.
spoons and all that other stuff, but it also keeps it in that elevated spot where,
Mhm.
like I guess, I was thinking about, oh, here's this waiting room full of magical people also waiting out there, the entire time that he's with her. So it doesn't totally settle down into
Right.
the mundane,
Right.
I guess, to me.
Mm.
Neo leaves the Oracle and meets up with Morpheus, who does a damn fine job having the eyes of a zealot here. Great job for Mr. Fishburne. Like he looks like he is completely like a zealot. It's very interesting.
He's down bad.
The crew heads back to the abandoned building and go back to the real world. Cypher looks creepy and self-satisfied, Tank noticing something strange in the coding, and Neo notices some deja vu, which alerts the crew that something has changed in the program.
I love that part because as a little kid, I'm like, oh my God, I have that sometimes.
Right.
The hard line has been cut, trapping the crew in the Matrix, and Mouse gets out some huge ass Tommy guns just as a bunch of SWAT dudes breach the door. Mouse goes down, spraying bullets and being sprayed in return, going down under a hail of gunfire. Tank watching helplessly as Mouse's body twitches and jerks, dying in real life as his avatar dies. There's some great emotion on Tank's face here. I really, really appreciated his performance.
Yeah, I really like Tank a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I think it sells like, unfortunately, the flip side of the coin where, there's Mouse, there's Switch, there's, the other guy. And like they tried to do the aliens thing of, you saw them in the mess hall earlier. You're seeing them bullshit with each other. Like you love these characters, and now you're going to be really sad that they're dying. I don't care about any of these additional
No.
people whatsoever. Like
No.
Mouse came off as a creep. Switch has no character. The other guy, I'm literally calling the other guy because I don't know off the top of my head what it is.
Nope.
We see 3 of them die in super fast succession, and I don't feel anything about them. So
Is his name like Mordo or Ordo or Cordo or something like
I
that?
like Mordo. So let's roll
Fucking
with that.
Because he dies.
Switch, you have to stand there and watch Mordo die. And Trinity's like, who? What? Oh my God, there's another guy.
I've been here the whole time.
His name has not been Mordo the entire time. He's like, guys, my name is just Bob. I don't want to be Morpheus or Cypher. I just want to be Bob.
He's just got a normal name.
It's like fucking Gary from Parks and Rec. They just keep changing it.
Has anybody seen Mordo? No. Has anybody seen Maximus? No. It's Bob. It's just Bob, you guys.
Don't answer to Mordo.
Call me Mordo one more time.
I swear to God, I'll pull my own cord.
Amidst what must be a sound engineer's nightmare of flapping leather trench coat and probably very squeaky latex, the crew runs away, calling Tank on a cell phone to open a trace, then leaving the phone behind to decoy the agents and the SWAT team. I like that bit. It was very clever stuff because they just didn't know where they were, even though the agents are supposed to be like basically omniscient in the Matrix. And you'd think that anything that is run like a machine runs, a computer runs on code. It cannot run on code, like run on anything but code, right? So you'd think that these machines, unless the Matrix is so incredibly vast and complex that you physically can't do that without a dedicated program, you'd think that they would just be able to know where they are. But
Agent Smith saying Control F. Control F Neo. Oh, he's in the stairwell.
the crew hides in the walls, quiet as church mice. See?
Oh God.
Layers upon layers of meaning, kids. And the SWAT guys search the building, finally discovering that they're in the walls. Shooting occurs, and Agent Smith co-ops one of the SWAT guys, morphing out of his body with an interesting effect. It was actually pretty nightmarish in 1999 when his body like splits and like the sound accompanying it was very, very cool. And he transforms into Agent Smith. I thought those were really interesting.
Breaking news, guys. Mordo's name was APOC.
I was just looking
Sorry.
at that. It's APOC. I was going to say, Steve, this seems more of your...
APOC.
I don't even think he made it into my script because I didn't even register him as a person. Agent Smith punches through the wall, grabbing Neo. But Morpheus, fully believing that Neo is the one, despite the evidence that he isn't, Faith, smashes right through the wall, engaging the enemy in a fight he cannot win, sacrificing himself just like the Oracle said. He tells the rest of the crew to fly, you fools. And they do a really cool looking inner wall slide that was probably miserable to shoot, but made me think of the mouse and the motorcycle for some reason, or Mouse Hunt, or maybe I just wanted to see Nathan Lane. I'm not quite sure. But it looked really cool.
That scene where he screams, that part though where Morpheus like fucking screams and jumps out of the wall.
It's pretty cool.
It's so awesome. And
he just bodies through the wall. It's very rad.
That part where he comes out of the Oracle's office, though, when you were talking about him being a zealot, like the part, like he comes out and Neo's about to just straight up tell him, like, "Yo, I'm not the one," and Morpheus is like, "Keep it to yourself. That's for you." I'm like, bro, we could have saved a lot of problems if you just let him talk.
It's morphin time, kids, as Morpheus takes on the agent, full on hand to hand. He gets handled pretty easily, because you're not going to catch a 6,000-year-old elf lord sleeping like that. Oops, wrong movie. The agent beats Morpheus all to hell, trading pseudo-philosophical barbs as they go. The SWAT guys swarm in and take Morpheus away, as Cypher connects to the Nebuchadnezzar, saying that he got away in the scuffle. But when Tank pulls him out, he super blasts Tank and Dozer with a lightning gun that we had not seen any evidence that they had this kind of technology. He just has a big blaster.
I enjoy that they have these like random pieces of like weaponry the outside of the Matrix, and you know, there's no reason to explain. They could use this on the robots coming after them, but they choose not to.
Right. I assume that it was like a high grade electrical discharge to disrupt a machine's function, like they use an EMP later, but they don't use it later. And it's like, did you have this thing? Did he just discharge all of its charge to kill these guys when you could have just sharpened and fucking toothbrush and shanked him to death? You know what I mean? Like,
you see, but what you don't understand is that actually came with the Mordo action figure from Kenner. So that was like that was a reference for anybody that was like collecting at the time. And...
oh my god. It was only with Mordo, but it was for Cyphers.
Well, it's you know that's how they produce these toys. They had to cross pollinate them, so you'd buy both. You needed the Cypher figure, you needed the Mordo figures. They know you're not going to buy Mordo without the gun. It's the whole thing. So
there's also a Mandela effect Neo variant that has a shiny black trench coat, but the real Neo that's in the main line has a cloth trench coat.
Yeah,
oh, God.
Everybody imagines Neo having a leather trench coat.
Dude, you have his name in the script.
APOC? Yeah. Oh, maybe. I didn't even see it because he's not a guy.
I see he's it like right fucking there, brother.
Okay, well, good for me. It was good for that actor because I remembered him.
No, you paid attention.
He pulls APOC's plug first. Nobody remembers it. That guy sucks so bad. I'm so tired. I don't know why this is making me laugh so much.
Cypher begins his betrayal, being a creep on Trinity's unconscious body, monologuing gleefully over the phone, and quite a nice performance by Joey Pants. But he was really, really inappropriate.
Right. He's like, I like it when you sleep.
I was very I creeped the fuck out. But I know he's supposed to be a bad guy, but that's
he's doing a good job.
Yeah,
he's doing a phenomenal job.
It's like the orderly that licked Sarah Connor's face at the beginning of Terminator 2. No. It's just like, I know this is supposed to be getting me, but it's really getting me. This is so gross.
Cypher pulls APOC's plug. Who the fuck is that guy? Moving on.
That's Mordo.
Mordo.
Oh, that's Mordo.
Cypher pulls Mordo's plug, moving on to Switch, and we get a very silly line read as Switch says, Not like this.
Not like this. I hated
That's
that
so
even as a
silly.
kid. It was
I
so
have an
bad.
animated GIF of that saved in my favorites folder, so I can use that. I use that so frequently.
I hate that part so much. It's so bad.
Not like this.
Not like this.
Joseph Pantaloons gabs with Squeaky Pants Trinity. Just a bit too long, hot dogging and grandstanding like a pro wrestling heel when Tank shows back up, blasting the bald Judas into oblivion. The Tank gets Trinity and Neo out of the Matrix safely.
Tank really is the MVP, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's
Of
the
the-
Sam.
Which is
Dude.
why it's insane that in the second movie it's like, oh hi, I'm Link, I'm Tank's brother, and we're not going to address that. Like,
Yep.
what a gaping hole of humanity in that movie.
Oh my god!
I was
And
just
like,
gonna say that was so disappointing when he stepped in. I was like, "Who the fuck is this guy?"
and he does such a good job, and he's so endearing.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Mhm.
some of the faces he's pulling when his friends are dying is just incredible stuff. And like,
Totally.
I felt that, and I was like, fully not suspending my disbelief for this movie at all because I'm just like, oh, it's the Matrix. Elsewhere, in an interrogation chamber, Agent Smith exposits on how the Matrix was originally a utopia, but humans crave suffering or something else to fuel the fires of pop psychologists and armchair film theorists for years to come. He talks about evolution, further cementing himself as the bad guy to the evangelicals. It's real easy to make that guy the bad guy when he's talking about evolving, because apparently a Pokemon evolving makes them demonic or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, man.
It's more like a metamorphosis, but you know.
Aboard the ship, Tank advocates pulling Morpheus's plug to save the human resistance because he's got the codes to the human resistance's mainframe. Trinity and Neo reasonably object very strongly to this. And inside the Matrix, the agents realize that Neo is still alive, and they say deploy the Sentinels.
Oh shit.
Neo stops Tank just before he pulls Morpheus's plug, saying he's going to go back in to save him, that he believes in his heart he can save Morpheus. Trinity decides to go with him. In the Matrix, Agent Smith goads Morpheus, telling him humans are nothing but a virus, and giving every edgelord their life's philosophy for years to come.
Mm-hmm.
Neo and Trinity now get stupid amounts of guns. Agent Smith has an existential crisis and clues Morpheus in on his death wish to be free of existence, which I personally kind of like that in a character. Like, I hate everything. This fucking sucks. I hate my job. I hate you. I hate you. Fuck you. Fuck you.
Yep.
Fuck you. I want to die. And I'm just like, and it's so just, and not to make light of someone feeling, you know,
Yeah.
having
Right.
suicidal ideation, but
Sure.
the idea of a villain being so driven
So
to just like,
nihilistic.
yeah, I hate this. I hate everything. I kind of really like that a lot. And Hugo Weaving, again, this is his just, he's just devouring every bit of everything here, and it's amazing
Yeah.
to watch.
And no, God.
No, sorry, go on, Alec.
I was just gonna say it's like, and you as the audience are like, yes, I agree with you. Burn it all down.
Well, that's the thing,
The
like,
bad guy?
you know, tying into the edgelord thing. I mean, like, look, he's like, you know, human beings are a disease and this and that, you're parasites, and like, and then like, I don't know, I feel like anybody with their head screwed on straight looks at the news some days and they're like, oh god, we are killing this
Yeah.
planet, we are parasites. I mean, so
Yeah.
like, maybe I'm sounding like an edgelord here, but like, you know, Agent Smith is the path there, and it's like you if you know, you can go, and if you kind of ingest that worldview to its natural conclusion, you're going to end up at that existential crisis. You're going to end up with, oh god, just end this all. Like, this is not worth it.
For sure.
And especially like, mate, this is one of those moments. So you mentioned like maybe they had everything planned out from the beginning. In this moment, does Agent Smith know that he's just going to have to do this again when there's another Neo? Is he just going to have to do all this crap again?
Yeah.
Like, are they saving these programs for later and they just drop them back in? Or has there been 1,000 Agent Smiths moaning about 1,000 fucking human civilizations until 1,001s turn off the Matrix or whatever?
Yeah. And then obviously, like, by the third one, we see 1,000 Agent Smiths complaining about this. So, you know, that's a super interesting point that I don't know that they ever really addressed.
I still hold that the third Matrix has one of the best, like, live action representations of a Dragon Ball Z fight
Yes.
in it.
Yeah.
Like
agree with
when
that.
they punch each other and the sky changes color, it's
Yep.
just like, or no, it's not the sky. The rain around them bubbles because they hit
Oh,
each other
yeah.
so hard,
Mhm.
and he throws them into the ground, and all the pavement piles up into a big pile. I like that's what I want to see in a Dragon Ball Z movie.
Have you ever played The Matrix: The Path of Neo? It was like a PS2 Xbox game.
Fuck yeah, I did.
It's Donovan knows what's up with this. Like
That's so
they
good.
changed the ending.
Uh-huh.
So it's basically just Neo's path from 1 to 3, right? Like, you
Mhm.
do all the stuff from the movies. They get to the end, and I think there's like a cartoon of the Wachowskis pops up and says,
yeah.
we know that the ending was controversial, and we thought, hey, how are we supposed to end this in a video game? We're going to give you what you want. And all of the Agent Smiths coalesce into like a giant kaiju, and Neo grows to the size of a skyscraper and has to fight the giant Agent Smith. And then it plays
That's so
like
cool.
what does it play at the end? We Are the Champions. Like
Yeah.
it plays like
so
it
weird.
plays-
This is a real
That's
thing?
great. Yes.
Oh
go
my
go
God.
look it up on YouTube.
I'll
It
send it
is
to you later, yeah.
insane.
Oh,
Like,
I'm
it's
gonna look
so
it up
cool.
as soon as that's
this
amazing.
This was like 2004, 2005. So like it was clear that the shine had come off, and like the Wachowskis were willing to be not so precious with it. And they kind of
Yeah.
understood that maybe they didn't stick the landing. And so they were just like, all right, let's go all out. Let's do something weird. And it's crazy. It is fantastic.
Oh my
That game is
God.
one of the best video games I've ever played. It like the controls in it are cool. Like the way that you actually get to fight as him are cool.
Yeah.
The story, the writing of it itself is so cool.
Yeah.
I was gonna go
No,
ahead.
I was gonna say, especially after like Enter the Matrix, which was so far up its own ass with like,
Yes.
this is a multimedia experience that ties into Reloaded, and there's a prompt in it so that you can code too, and like that it was just too much. And then they fixed
Yes.
it and did this arcadey, cool, you play as Neo game that ends in a kaiju battle, and it's just great. It's
They
super
shot
good.
so much cool new stuff for that too with
Mhm.
Keanu, which I was worried it was going to be like a sound alike or something when it first came out. I was going to point out too that the thing with Agent Smith and Morpheus, the acting that the both of them are doing in that scene is so phenomenal. Like Morpheus is like tranked out, so he's like drooling and like just like, oh, I can't even barely stay alive anymore. And Agent Smith is wiping the sweat off the top of his head with 3 fingers and sniffing it and like shoving it in his own nose. It's fucking crazy.
It's so good. Like I don't know. Hugo Weaving is just. I think he's so underrated as being as great
yeah.
as he is. Like you think about the Red Skull, like, or even V. You don't see his face in V, but like I feel like you can hear when a person is moving their mouth like that.
Mhm.
Like I can close my eyes and hear the difference between Elrond delivering lines and Agent Smith delivering lines. Like he's so good at just like making Agent Smith utterly just dripping with revulsion and
Yeah.
hatred because he's just moving his mouth in this way that like he's spitting every word out. Just say like, I hate you. You are the
Yeah.
piece of shit. It's just wonderful stuff.
Like it reminded me of like in chorus, like back in high school, they taught us like keep your tongue behind your teeth to like project and like kind of be able to kind of push off into vowels and stuff. And it kind of just makes me feel like that's what he's doing is almost like choral exercises. Everything is designed to make sure the words come out as far as they can go, like that kind of thing.
Oh, it's wonderful
That's
stuff.
awesome.
Loaded down with enough ordnance to arm a small rebellion, Neo and Trinity try to gain entry into the building. They shoot, the cops shoot, security guards shoot, and everybody blasts away, jumping, flipping, and spinning in slow motion as they fire what seems like every bullet in the city at these SWAT dudes. An iconic scene in a film full of them, but ultimately just flash and sizzle. Leaving the building a smoking ruin behind them, the pair of stylish fighters climb atop an elevator car, Neo drawing the probably very squeaky Trinity close to him, giving an entire generation of people an awakening and a fetish all at once.
Mind your business.
With one very well-placed shot, the elevator cables disengage, rocketing them up to the roof.
Hell yeah.
And like
Hot.
this is when we talked about the Columbine thing.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
Just these guys are carrying in bags and bags and bags of guns. And it is kind of very, very difficult to not make that a parallel, even though it really kind of isn't.
Yeah, this scene was played on national news over and over and over again, like, in those. And where did they get their inspiration from? Pop culture is full of violence and guns and da da da. And you would see, here's them putting the guns, the duffel bags on the metal detectors, and like, and that's, I think that's 100% why it was banned in my house in 1999 and 2000, because it was just connected. It was on the news every night. Every think piece about Columbine brought this up, and this scene specifically. Never mind the fact that I was allowed to watch Terminator 2 and Aliens and Lethal Weapon and whatever. This was the one. This was, ironically, it's the one. It's, like, this was, for whatever reason, the scapegoat of, like, oh God, this is what kids are doing. Like, I think for whatever reason, for my dad, 80s movies that were way more violent were less scary than, oh God, I don't understand the new kids with like this. And, and like I said last time, he watched it, he thought it was the dumbest thing he'd ever seen and died laughing. But at the time, I think it was just the unknown and the fact that, the experts and the nightly news was telling him this is something that's dangerous for your kids. Yeah. And then looking at me, angsty 13-year-old that had emotional dysregulation, was like, yeah, we're not putting oil and water together here. So
because we all know that it's just one step away from seeing a movie and deciding to end human lives.
Yeah, exactly.
Because that's what we've all been told for freaking generation. Agent Smith instructs the others to find and destroy the attackers, and we cut to the roof where Trinity and Neo destroy another squad of SWAT dudes. This time, an agent co-ops the helicopter pilot, running towards Neo. When he fires on the agent, the program moves faster than is possible, avoiding the bullets and inspiring copycats for years. The agents fire back, Neo throwing himself backwards, nearly avoiding the bullets as most of them whip by where he used to be, but taking 2 grazing hits. This feat is enough to distract the agent long enough for Trinity to shoot him right in the head, driving the sentient program out of the helicopter pilot's body, but probably killing the helicopter pilot, who is somewhere outside of the Matrix.
No, don't worry about
that
guy.
Not that guy.
No,
that's a part on rewatch that is so creepy that it's just like, yeah, no, they don't care about any of these other people. Like they set up the line with like, if they're not one of us, they're an enemy, and it's like, oh, that's gross. Like,
it's another Christian thing, right?
Yeah, kinda.
And they're just gunning people down, and these are real human beings who are just trapped in here, just like they are. It's just kind of gross.
Just security guards doing their job. Like when he opens his jacket, the one guy's like, "Holy shit!" and he just fucking palms him, then shoots him in the chest.
Hey, I just got my helicopter license. I'm going on my first flight.
Oh my God. My wife is so proud of me. She packed me a lunch and everything.
Peanut butter running down the side of the helicopter. No.
The agents reconvene in the interrogation room below, remarking that something wild is happening outside. As above, Trinity downloads the ability to pilot a helicopter. Below, the agent's conversation is halted by the sound of rotor blades as Trinity hovers the chopper into view, while Neo mans the gun. He unloads the machine gun, shell casings cascading from the chopper down to the street below. In hyper-dramatic slow motion, of course. You can't have anything in this movie without slow motion. Like, was this like Zack Snyder saw this and like, this is my entire fucking gimmick, you guys?
That's where my brain just went, like the exact same time. It was like he's watching this as a kid, like fucking mind blown. Like, I know what I'm doing with the rest of my life.
It's like so silly. Like I don't understand the slow motion thing. I get that we're trying to convey that Neo can operate faster than everybody else can because he can just move the program around him. Mm-hmm. But like, I just don't.
So here's what I think. We see later on, we see Neo moving faster. Now, granted, we've seen an agent move like this at this point, but like, when we see Neo do it, it looks very stupid. Like when he's just like very clearly choreographed. It's not really sped up. It just looks like he's just kind of like ducking and dodging and weaving. the slow motion, I think, is just like, what can we do that's going to sell this visually? That he's moving fast, like he's Sonic the Hedgehog here, he's
Right.
Quicksilver, and like because when he's doing it in normal time or doing it sped up, it just looks really dumb. So
Yeah.
like, I wonder if it was just what can we do, and this is the where they went with it.
But why the shells from the machine gun? There's no reason for those
They
shells
just
to be in
probably
slow
thought it
motion.
looked cool.
It's
That's
gun
probably
porn.
it. Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
exactly it.
yeah.
Don't care.
Like there's a whole audience of Midwesterners that's like, yeah, 50 caliber casings, just clank, 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 clank. Yeah.
They just popped up. They just told them that they're in a white room, right? And all the guns just popped up out of nowhere. I was like, I got a boner now.
That's my dream. I want the white room with the guns.
Maybe-
I had my wife paint the basement white because I wanted to pretend I was in the construct.
Maybe I spruce it up a little bit. Maybe I would add a Confederate flag. Maybe I would have put a Gadsden flag up there. It's gonna be real nice. It's just gonna be a white room, a bunch of guns, and a fucking Gadsden flag, and we're on, baby. Patriots for life.
Imagine if Trinity summons up the construct, and he was like, "What the hell's that?" And she's got like a bunch of like Confederate flags.
Oh my
Like this is
God.
just they just came with the room. It doesn't matter. Don't worry about it.
She's
Neo.
like, it doesn't mean what you think it means.
This was actually before. Okay, the Roman times. You have to understand. This is
I have
It's a
friend-
Roman salute flag, okay?
And somehow Neo, after spraying all these bullets into this room, does not hit Morpheus at all, which is either movie plot armor or Neo being able to manipulate the Matrix. I will let you decide that because I think it's much more interesting.
at which point you would have to imagine that they would have shown that. Like it was just like him like wanted style bullet curving around Morpheus or whatever.
While the agents gather themselves after the attack, Morpheus screams, wrenching at the handcuffs binding him until the chain breaks. He bolts to the window through more bullet time and dramatic slow motion as Agent Smith fires on him, giving Morpheus a hit in the leg, causing him to stumble, leaping out towards the chopper and Neo's outstretched hands. Trinity pulls the chopper out and away, the machine taking a hit as Agent Smith fires on it, Neo and Morpheus's grip slipping, and Neo deposits Morpheus on a rooftop while Neo falls elsewhere on his own roof because what it looked like is he dropped Morpheus and then he's on a completely different roof, and then later Morpheus just rocks up. So it's like, are they on the same roof?
What if I told you there is no roof?
Oh God.
He just jumped after taking that hit in his leg over the roofs like he was trying to teach Neo to do because he's so cool.
If he believed hard enough, he could do it.
It's true. Because of faith.
And Josh Groban's Believe just starts playing in the background.
Seeing the helicopter going down and his obligatory love interest is going down with it, Neo starts to believe and attempts to stall the aircraft's fall by hanging on to the rope. Trinity makes the rope just in time, unhooking it to haul Trinity to safety as the helicopter slams into the building behind her. And somehow, this proves that Neo is the one, which doesn't... I don't know if I missed something because I was typing notes, or Morpheus is now very, very convinced, and so kind of is Neo, that he is the one, because I didn't really understand this. Did he cause the slow motion helicopter explosion so Trinity could get out of the way? Is that what they were implying?
Something like that.
Or he just believed so strongly that he could stop an entire helicopter falling, and Trinity just unhooked herself just in the nick of time, even though he thought he was going to stop that whole ass helicopter by himself.
I'm going to be honest, like, a lot of this movie really just like is in my brain. Like the scenes, the lines, this part, I feel like every time I've watched it, I've kind of just dissociated because I'm like, yeah, there's something with a helicopter. It hits the thing. Like I couldn't tell you the chain of events, like where these characters end up, how they end up in the next part that they're in. Like,
yeah,
it's just kind of is like action happening.
Yeah.
I just remember Lawrence Fishburne screaming and then running. That's the main thing I can remember from this scene.
It's so cool. He looks like the biggest badass that's ever walked the face of the planet. Popping those work handcuffs. Oh man.
Oh god. See, Power Team. That's a reference.
Oh God, no!
It's Jacobs.
Did you know
Yeah,
the
thanks.
Power Team had comic books?
I
Yes.
think Donovan texted me this or an Instagram, right?
Yeah.
I
Like
think that might have been me
I
because I was
have,
super stoked.
yeah, that's the thing. You guys both use that Instagram, so I don't know who's talking to me
Yeah.
at any point. But, but I definitely, Alec, I'm sorry, but we are
Mhm.
going to try and eBay a few of those comic books and read them as a special sometime because,
Fine.
ooh,
And you know, the Power Team thwarts a satanic cult that has
ooh,
Chris daggers and everything, and meets
love it.
in like a seaside cliff to sacrifice a girl to Satan.
Dude, the power
Ooh.
teams were such buttholes. I
They
remember doing a
performed at
couple.
our church, and I thought it was the coolest fucking thing in the world.
Really? I remember doing a
Yeah.
couple episodes on those guys and the grifting that they did. So
Yeah.
wonderful.
I mean, it's pro wrestling, right?
Yeah, but
All
like,
the
you know,
things.
you add in like issue number 2 with special guest Mike Warnke and
Nah.
like, all right, which
Episode. Huh?
that dude is still doing it, by the way.
Oh, is he really?
I found another podcast. It was by, you know, and listen, this is a digression, so you can cut this out if you need to, but it's called like 1 Degree of Andy, and it's like an old CCM guy. He was one of the members of the band For Him, and I
Oh
found
my God.
How do you find these things? This is so
I found it because there's a Blaine Bartel interview in it. Like
Ugh.
he, you know, they do like a catch up on Fire by Night and that whole thing. So I found it in my travels. The very next episode after Blaine Bartel was Mike Warnke, and I was like,
No
"Oh
fucking
my gosh,
way.
like what could he possibly have to say?" He's still like not like I anticipated it being, yeah, you know, I did some bad stuff and I lied, and you know, but God forgave me, and you know, like coming back to the evangelical thing, but from a standpoint of I got, and you know, like kind of very publicly discredited nonsense, you know, from that Cornerstone magazine article.
Mhm.
And but he's still like, they gloss over it. It was insane to me, is like the guy from For Him is just like, nah, I don't want to get into all the controversy. I don't want to do that. And it's like, no, this is what you need to talk about with him, is hold him to account and like talk about what happened. Because Mike Warnke is just allowed to be like, yeah, no, I got into some bad stuff and the Satanism, but I don't really like to talk about that anymore. And anyways, in 1994, when I
That's
restarted my
hilarious.
ministry, it's like, you can't just
Jeez.
do this. Like, that's why, like, I've always said to Alec, if on our show, if we ever got the chance to talk to Blaine Bartel, I don't care about any of his controversies. I don't care about any of his fall from grace. That's what his whole ministry is based on right now, is he cheated on his wife prolifically and basically created like a I'm addicted to porn, you know, thing for pastors.
Oh
I
my
don't care
God.
about any of that. I want to know if, knowing what he knows now about people like Mike Warnke, uh, if that would how did that change how he feels about how he platformed that show and the people he picked on it, and
Right.
I want to know like what that did to him from a standpoint of, we did this bad stuff, how do I feel about it? Because there's never been any recognition of that. And the interesting thing is, Blaine Bartel had like a 6 episode podcast himself,
Whoa.
like around like COVID, and he had an episode about Trump, and he's talking about just like, you know, like maybe it's just the Canadian in him gave him some perspective, but he wasn't like in the tank. Like, it's clear that he understood that the church was going down some bad paths, but that connects directly back to Warnke, the satanic panic, the
Right.
church believing things that are just insane and very clearly, you know, able to be disproven, you know. So I'm just very interested in that angle. So sorry for this digression,
Oh,
but
No.
that's so yeah. So long story short, 1 Degree from Andy, if you want to hear CCM stories from the people who were there.
how? I don't even like.
Sorry.
I don't even know how you get. I don't know.
It's
I would
because
even know
I'm
he
a
was still alive.
psychopath.
Yeah, you found it in your travels, just like you found a complete box of Fire by Night
Wow.
VHS.
That was, yes. That was a good travel.
I was very fortunate to be like awake at 2 o'clock in the morning when you guys were doing that, and I thought that was wild. I'm just like watching this live stream of this strange man opening like old evangelical VHS tapes.
That's
I got
awesome.
my VHS tape of the Buttercream Gang now.
Oh God, yeah, we
Yeah,
gotta watch that.
Prepare Alec for that.
So my mom like we didn't have TV like cable till I was like 11 or 12.
Yeah.
And so like it was just focused on the family
Yeah.
movies. So like at some point I could probably have quoted you the entire Buttercream Gang like lore and shit. But like I don't know, not nowadays. I mean, I haven't interfaced with that stuff for like almost 30 years.
Yeah.
You know, at this point, but like
Gnarly.
it brought up a lot of memories. Like, I found the Buttercream Gang. What is this weirdness? And I'm like, I know that weirdness. It's just kids on bikes for Christians.
You should come on. We'll do a bonus episode. We'll come up with another sub series. Be like, what's in the box? It's just random things that came in the Fire by Night box. It's like that salty, like just like
Oh
things
no, Salty's the worst, right?
It's terrifying.
Salty.
This book.
That guy is he scares the shit out of me. His voice is so weirdly high.
The Donut Man,
Yeah.
Salty.
I saw the Donut Man live at Kingdom Bound. He was doing like seminars for little kids.
No
Oh
way.
my god.
And
He
like,
was
you know, we
still
were
doing it?
teenagers at the time. No, this was like 99. And
Well,
like
yeah, even then, I thought his shit was
Yeah.
like in the 80s.
well, he was still doing it with like the puppet and everything. And like
Yeah.
we were, 13, 14, and we were like ironically like, look at this stupid thing. But
It was
I
for
wanted
me.
to-
It was Adventures in Odyssey and Veggie Tales. Those
Oh,
were the
yeah.
best ones.
I wanted to be a puppeteer so bad
Oh,
just
hell
because
yeah.
of the Donut Man and Gerbert when I was a kid.
Herbert.
I remember at the Christian bookstore, there was this Gerbert puppet. It was like a 1-to-1, like this is the same Gerbert puppet you see on the thing. And all I wanted was to get this Gerbert puppet and like be a puppeteer. And it just kind of like went by the wayside because I never ended up with that Gerbert puppet.
Aw,
Um,
see, dreams and career paths that could have
Yeah.
happened.
I could have been a dirty, rotten evangelical puppeteer.
Still time.
Could have been the Kevin Clash of the.
Oh, dear
Christian.
God.
Oh, not Kevin Clash.
Nope,
Sorry.
Oh no, not Kevin Clash.
nope. Peter Lorre's going to show up and tell us all about how
I've
bad
got
he
some
was.
terrible news for you.
Meanwhile, back in the Matrix, Morpheus calls Tank on the cell phone, looking for an exit landline, and the trio head off to a subway station, with agents hot on their heels. Morpheus gets out of the Matrix, but somebody's been watching lots of anime because instead of just getting out, Trinity has to have a dramatic emotional moment with Neo. Elsewhere on the subway platform, an unhoused man is co-opted by Agent Smith, and he steps forward, shooting at the phone booth as Trinity once again barely escapes a booth bashing, waking up in the Nebuchadnezzar just as the agent's bullets smash the phone to bits.
Mhm.
But like, why drag the action to a halt here? Why make Trinity tell Neo that she's whatever? Just do the thing. You know what I mean? It's just kind of silly to me. I don't get it.
It's for feels.
I feel like it was definitely kind of an anime influence thing, because it's just like, oh, we're literally running for our lives and being shot at, and then I have to stop and tell you some emotional stuff.
Mhm.
That's kind of lame.
I mean, it works in animation because it's like it has no meaning
Right.
in animation, but like when it's real people talking, you're like, okay, I'm looking at my watch, like
Right.
this is an insane moment that they're having.
It's like watching Supernatural, and you're just like, fuck, stop talking, Sam and Dean, and shoot the vampire.
No, but their banter is the best though, bro.
Yeah, the banter is fine, but when they stop and have emotional bro moments, like 15 years of emotional bro moments, your shit should be ironed out. You should be operating like a
They're always finding something new about each other to learn.
Yeah, man.
just tell your brother you're possessed by Satan. It's not that hard.
But
Well,
Dad loved
you
you
know.
more than he loved me.
All I want is to buy.
You're right.
Is that show just Devil May Cry? Is that what's going on there?
Oh shit! You know what?
Like Virgil and Dante.
Agent Smith steps forward from the shadows. Neo's escape now cut off, and totally dead names Neo. Yet another element of this movie that is a trans narrative. Tip: do not dead name people. It's rude as hell. If Neo wants to be called Neo, call him Neo. Okay, it's really shit. Just don't be a shitheel. And now they must fight. the final climactic realization of the film, as Neo begins to truly believe that he's the one, giving us a full, shameless homage to Sergio Leone as we get an Old West standoff on the subway platform. Complete with like twitching fingers over holsters too. I was like, you guys have bit so much off in this movie that like, why not? Just give them another thing. They might as well just zoomed in really close on Neo's eyes and then back to Agent Smith's sunglasses.
I love it. I love a shot of Neo's eyes, and then it just cuts to Agent Smith, and it's just black.
That'd be very funny. And like Keanu is like emoting, and then we just switch back to like nothingness. They fire on one another, emptying their clips, evading every round until they find themselves locked in hand-to-hand combat. Neo faring far better than his mentor as he trades blows with the agent, taking a beating and reassessing the threat, throwing out the hand taunt and changing fighting styles. And this hand taunt would be endlessly used and mocked by everybody, and every kid on the playground pretending to be the Matrix would just stop. Bring it on, brother.
I still do it to my kids. When I'm wrestling around with them and shit, I'm like, let's go.
It's amazing how when you're like a little kid, like, you know, even through to being a teenager, how just little moments like that stick with you and just become like, oh, I do this now, I guess. Like you guys were talking about lines that stand out to you, and when you guys did the Ninja Turtles episodes, and like I literally will turn to my kids and just go play. Like, I am their master Tatsu. They never lower your eyes to me. Oh God, that sounded way darker than I've had to do. Never mind.
The agent handles Neo easily, bashing him into walls and pillars until he drops him directly onto the subway track, moving with all the speed of a slasher villain until Neo barely escapes, leaving the agent to be pasted by the train. In a very tense moment too, like they actually really sell you on, is Neo going to get hit by this train? It's pretty good stuff. Yeah. He runs, calling Tank and asking for an exit, and all three agents give pursuit. As meanwhile, on the Nebuchadnezzar, they detect multiple contacts, a swarm of Sentinel hunter-killer drones that start to cut their way into the ship. Morpheus charges their last remaining weapon, an EMP bomb, as Neo battles his way to the phone in yet another shitty building. He sprints around the corner, only to come face to face with Agent Smith, who blasts him several times, blowing him against the wall. After all that fighting and struggle...
What did he
Shut up, Donovan!
What happened? Not that kind of movie, Zach.
After all that fighting and struggle... he jacks him off out of the Matrix. After all that fighting and struggle, Neo falls to the floor, dead. Aboard ship, the Sentinels are now inside, getting closer, and Trinity refuses to give up. She finally reveals what the Oracle told her, that if she falls in love, that man would be the one.
Okay. When did that happen?
Yeah, like you've had 4 conversations with the guy. And like, damn, Oracle, not cool. That's awfully heteronormative of you. But Trinity kisses the man she's had 3 conversations with on the mouth while he's asleep and can't tell her it's okay. And the power of love, or boners, triumphs, and Neo wakes up. He's stronger than before.
I'm back.
I'm ready to go, you guys. He's stronger than before, coming back for more. Keanu to the core. Go Neo.
Hell yeah.
That was a little Zeo reference for all you Power Rangers fans. The agents fire away, pouring bullets at him, but he casually stops them with one gesture of his hand. And the Oracle was right after all. In his next life, he is the one. He flexes his power, dispatching the agents very quickly this time, entering Agent Smith and deleting him from within, as outside, the Sentinels are literally in the sleep chamber, getting closer and closer until Neo, at the last possible instant, Morpheus sets off the EMP, killing the Sentinels, and Neo barely escapes the Matrix.
And they had to wait, right? Because Neo had to come out before they could set
Right.
off the EMP, right?
Hmm.
And I
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
think they sold that as well as they could have, because
Right.
like we understand that an EMP would kill all the electronics, if
Yeah.
you set it off, but like I don't think they said the EMP will affect our link to the Matrix as well. Like it'll just shut everything down. And so,
Yeah.
like, yeah, you can get the idea that they're just coming to kill Neo and they want to get him out so they can get him off the chair.
Yeah.
But
Mhm.
It's
wasn't. But it wasn't like made super clear that the EMP will kill him too.
I ironically, that's like the one thing that they probably could have like expositioned a little bit more.
Yeah, like they could have
Right.
shown it. They could have been like, this happened to a team and we lost an entire ship full of people because they had to blow the EMP and we didn't want them to get the Zion key and whatever. Like have a flashback, do whatever it is to kind of really hammer home, hey, we have lost people this way and this is going to happen to Keanu if we don't play our cards right.
Right.
Mm.
Morpheus could have even been like, I had an old crew that I lost.
Yeah.
Just like
Yeah,
one line.
absolutely.
Yeah, and it's like, like and make that his trauma is like, I had to pull the EMP. There was no other option. We had to, we had to kill those things because they were going to find Zion if I didn't ice my 5 brothers in arms. And
I'm
you know,
I'm trying to think. Are there any flashbacks in this?
no.
No, right? It's just
It's
all
it's
moving
linear,
forward,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which like you really could have been served by getting more, more background on the people of Zion and the people that
Yeah.
are actually outside the Matrix. It's
Yeah.
so focused on Neo.
And you
It's
have the
so-
construct. You have the holodeck there that he could have been showing him.
Mhm.
Like, whatever. Neo jacks into the construct to go training and finds Morpheus reliving some memory over and over and over again to
That'd be
oh,
cool.
he's like at his family's garden back in Zion
Oh,
and
yeah.
whatever. Something just
That'd be
like
very cool.
connect it up,
Yeah.
Mhm.
But they couldn't show all that because all they do in Zion is have orgies. Yeah, they can't keep
Why is there techno coming from the Matrix right now?
Dude,
Like,
that was-
Morpheus is in his Zion program.
why does it smell like that in here?
I just hear whips.
Patchouli? Like, what is
That'll be a memory that's like seared into my brain for the rest of my life, is watching that in the theater with my father after how much
God.
he loved the first one because of how much it was a Christian allegory. Watching the second one and that orgy's just going on and he's just like, what the hell?
This
Not-
is a
not a
metaphor
fan
for the
of-
koinonia and the church body all coming together, literally.
God.
Literally. Ugh.
Anyways,
The cave doesn't
Communion
smell
of
right.
the saints. Our film closes with Neo in a phone booth talking to someone, the machines in general, the Matrix itself. It's not entirely clear. He's just talking into a phone. Who's on the other end of the line? The world, general.
I
He
do that all the
says-
time. I'm just like, hello. Hey, I don't know who this is, but you messed up, buddy.
That's what I say to telemarketers when they call.
Oh, I have a lot of fun with those guys.
You think you're in control, but you're not. We're all waking up to your scams.
the next thing
Neo's-
is someone's gonna come and you are going to be taken. What?
I don't have an extended warranty on my car, but what I do have is a special set of skills. Neo tells them that the jig is up, that he's going to wake these people up to their lies and show them a world full of unlimited potential. And somewhere, young Alex Jones forms a parasocial relationship that ossifies into a complex that sets off a series of events in motion that could very well lead to the destruction of the United States of America itself. And with that thought, that cheery thought, that is our film.
Fantastic.
We did it.
Yay.
Yeah.
Wow. And it wasn't even that long. We even just sat and talked shit for like 40 minutes and we're done before 11 o'clock.
Well, that's
great.
like, I mean, like the back half of the movie trucks,
It's-
like
it's
there's
all
so,
action.
There's so
Mhm.
much setup and kind of so much if you're breaking it down like we are to discuss that, like by the time you hit that like last 45 minutes, they shoot at each other. They jump out of the building. There's a
Yep.
helicopter there for
Mhm.
some reason. They shoot another guy. Like it's it's like the plot points become a little thin, but that's back in the day what we loved about it, I guess.
Oh,
But
yeah, That happened when we did Blade as well. Like we were talking about all the symbolism and all the movies that were like
Mhm.
similar, and then we get to the part where he finally fights Frost, and you're like, and we're gonna talk about it for 2 seconds.
Mhm.
Yeah, because I'm not going to go into like a stroke by stroke fight. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
there's
like
not much you can say.
Neo threw a right hook. The
Right.
the agent caught it and then kicked him. Like you're not gonna.
We
Yeah.
can mention that the music was fucking awesome. That
Oh
they
yeah.
Yeah,
used down
music's
down down
great.
to down
Yeah.
to down down to down to down down to down to down down.
Like meanwhile, there is a podcast out there somewhere where somebody is analyzing the fighting styles that Yun Wo Ping put into this movie and
Mhm.
like
Oh yeah,
how
probably.
Neo changes his fight. He goes from drunken boxing and he goes out to wushu and all these different things. That,
I mean, that would be an interesting if assuming they know what they're talking about.
yeah,
They're
actual-
just making it up.
people with martial arts exposure. Just
Listen,
like
and
there's a
if we find that podcast, 6-person podcast when we
Oh,
do the
dude.
Matrix Reloaded.
and we compile even more cisgendered white men in a
Yes,
room to share
yes,
their opinions.
They
on
have to be white.
Yes, right.
Good Lord.
How many
Um,
cisgendered white men does it take to tell a trans narrative?
something.
As many as we want.
Unfortunately.
That classic joke.
So what do you think? Is this a successful appropriation of someone else's narrative by the Christians? Like, or is this just mental gymnastics so we can have a pick me thing? I don't know. It all seems so tenuous and it all
Yeah.
seems so contrived that like none of this sticks and it doesn't feel like you can actually say, hey, that does seem like somebody is trying to give us a message. It does.
Yeah.
To me, at least, it just feels like reaching.
My I guess assertion here would be that it was a successful co-opting basically for your last point, the Alex Jones thing. The fact that this movie's ephemera and like their symbols and icons and things have become so ingrained to that community and have been able to be
Yeah.
co-opted so robustly.
Sure.
I mean, to me, that's just like we're like the Wachowskis lost their baby.
Yeah.
It's like it's like with the Pepe guy, right? Like nobody knows Pepe from that whatever was like Boys Club or whatever the comic. Everybody knows it from being a Proud Boy symbol. And
Mhm.
at a certain point, it's like you kind of lose control of your creation. And I guess that's kind of one of the pitfalls of art and putting yourself out there. But I also think that because of the wibbledy wobblediness of the Matrix and maybe not being as overt as it could be in some areas and maybe being a little more shallow in other areas, it gave a lot of ingress points for a young Alex Jones to look at this and be like, oh, this is about me. This is about me being a patriot. And like
Mhm.
I think that there's a lot there. I mean, Alec is probably sick of hearing me talk about this movie, but I don't know if you guys saw last year. I saw the TV Glow.
Oh,
I haven't seen it yet, but I
it-
want to.
Totally just check it out. So it's very much so another trans allegory and one that like listen, this is a movie that affected me. Like I love this is my favorite movie from last year. I just
Yeah.
actually ordered the Blu-ray because in our current political climate, I could see it being the kind of thing that is taken
Oh,
down
yeah.
from Max and streaming, non-binary filmmaker making a movie that's a trans narrative
Yeah.
could be the kind of thing that disappears and if you don't have a physical copy. So I wanted to own this. But it's something that's like way more overt. Like it's a science fiction movie at its core, and you
How-
can watch it and you can watch it straight. I mean, if you
Yeah.
I mean, of course I watched it. I'm straight. But like I mean the main gist of it, like in the log line for the commercial is basically two kids grow up, they're watching like a Buffy the Vampire Slayer style show, lots of lore, they grow up, they bond over it, and one day one of the kids disappears. Flash forward like 15 years, she shows back up and finds her friend and says, like her friend's like, where have you been? Like your parents thought you were dead. And the girl says, like, look, you remember that TV show we used to watch when we were kids? What if I told you that reality was real and we were those characters on that show? And it's, kind of like, she got out of this dream world and reemerged into, oh, the show that they had been watching was real. And so the movie's kind of, is she crazy? Is she lying? Is this real? Like, and sort of this narrative of, that deep down something isn't right in your world, but you're kind of scared to, explore that, right? And there's a lot more there, and it's a beautiful movie, and like I almost feel guilty that it resonated with me so much because there's a little bit of like, well, this wasn't meant necessarily for me, but I think it's very empathetic and it's very easy to
Yeah.
identify with these characters, especially as somebody, you know, that I feel like has a deep sense of nostalgia and kind of connection to things from my childhood. I mean, I'm sitting here in a room full of Power Rangers toys and things. I think it kind of
Yep.
speaks to anybody that grew up in that zone of having media that really meant something to them as a kid
Mhm.
and then for some reason stuck with them. But again, at its core, very clearly a trans narrative. Like it's very, very, very clear that this is what this movie was trying to do. And I think that that's actually something that going back to The Matrix, it's I saw the TV glow is not something that's going to be able to be co-opted by the chuds. One, because
Yeah.
it's not a bunch of gun porn, but
Mhm.
two, because it is a little bit more overt. And so even if you're just watching it as a sci-fi movie, you're not gonna not walk away and not understand that that's what this movie was about, you know? And so there's not gonna be a way to like if that movie had gotten super popular, I don't think that there's a way for people to be like, no, actually, this is about being a Christian. This is actually about being this or that because it wears its heart on its sleeve a little bit more significantly. And I think that might be a flaw that, you know, the Wachowskis kind of unfortunately stumbled into was
Right.
by playing it through, you know, again, they went through a lot of personal growth and personal changes over the course of that decade after this movie. So, you know, they were at the time just regurgitating a lot of stuff they loved. They loved anime, they loved Hong Kong movies, they loved, you know, guns, they loved whatever, video games, and it all kind of came through in this, but you know, in a way that kind of bit them in the butt because it was so easily able to be subsumed into that culture. So I do think that it was a successful theft. Yeah, I would say.
There
I
is a
agree.
world where this movie gets made closer to the end of like the 2010s, and like they are able to be more, direct about it,
Mhm.
Mhm,
and they are able to make it more less coded
mhm.
and less undercover in a way that like would allow it to be more explicitly a trans narrative.
Yeah,
But like it's not that world. They do have to operate inside the rules of what 1999 would allow them to
totally.
operate in. And they
Yeah.
didn't have certain perspectives on certain things. But like, yeah, I mean, sure.
Yeah.
I was trying to keep, my little happy glasses on and say, no, they can't take this shit from us, these bastards. But
Yeah.
apparently, it does really feel like, with the red pill thing alone being such a cultural like touchstone for like waking people up to
Mhm.
whatever truth you want to use. They use
Yeah.
red pill to say you got red pilled for flat Earth. Something as silly as that. Like
Yeah.
it's just the co-opting is there, and yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I hate to say it, but yeah, you think you're probably right.
And they made a whole movie about it. I mean, Lana goes back and makes The Matrix, what was the fourth one called? Resurrections.
Mhm.
And, you know, whatever, say what you will about the quality of it, but it's
I
an
never seen that
attempt
one.
to recontrol the narrative. And it didn't resonate at all in terms of the pop culture. Or, you know, it was just, it came, it went. People were like, whether they liked it or not, was like, oh, that was a weird little movie, and
Mhm.
kind of moved on from it. And
Mhm.
it didn't hit in the way that it needed to, you know, shake off that ick from the previous trilogy.
Because we don't need a new movie of something that is 25 years old at this point. You know what I mean? Like that
Yeah.
has been done to death and is still being done to death so much that people don't care about
Yeah.
updating your franchises anymore.
Yep. Agreed.
Which sucks because people are so sick and tired of seeing the same things, but the studios are so averse to any kind of risk that they would say, "Oh, we have a recognizable property. We have to use that because we know there will be an return on
Yeah.
investment."
Yeah.
I was gonna say that Boy Kills World movie that I told you to watch was pretty good, but I think that's based off a comic book, so that is an IP.
I mean,
I mean,
yeah,
it's
but
still
it's
There's
technically
a first for
original.
everything, though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It was really good. I don't know if you guys have seen that with Bill
No.
Skarsgård. It's really good. It's like
Mhm.
stylized action. It's pretty gory. It's really fun. But with my take on this is I also agree that it was successfully co-opted 100%, and one of many, like right up there. Well, actually I was going to say like Chronicles of Narnia, but that one actually is just straight up allegory, isn't it? So never mind. I forgot the author knew what he was doing with that one. Straight up, just being like, "No, this is Jesus Lion." But no, yeah, this one was successful. I'll leave it at that.
Jesus Lion, as played by super racist Liam Neeson, by the way, in the movies. Which, yeah.
Liam
Not-
Neeson. Yeah.
When Aslan's wife died, he carried a baseball bat looking for anybody. Or no, that was Joe Biden. I don't know. They're all kind of the same.
Oh my God.
Like boomer or older
Yeah.
white man going into the streets and just beating up people that they find.
Yeah. Vigilantes. Vigilante
Mhm.
Aslan.
Mm-hmm.
It's book 8. He
That's
comes
why
back.
that's why he was off the table when they got there in the morning.
He had to go get his bat.
He was
Yeah.
doing the rounds.
So thank you guys so much for joining us. This was a heck of a lot of fun.
Oh, thanks for
Oh,
having
Yeah,
us.
thank you
Absolutely.
for having us.
Yeah. So I personally love your podcast. I listened, to all the episodes, and I was just like, I am so fascinated by just the weird quirks of things that people have, and where we are and where we were in the 90s and the late 80s as far as like satanic panic is extremely fascinating to me. And like the idea that somebody else is really focusing on it in a very serious way. There's not a lot of goofs on your show. You guys are pretty serious about it.
Oh, I don't know. Let's we're gonna get a few beers on board to talk about the
I mean-
satanic panic. Yeah, I think more than anything, it's just like we've been fascinated with it, and it's like in Independence Day when they go down to Area 51 and the
Mhm.
doctor who's been like studying the bodies and studying the spaceship, and he's like everything was just dead until a couple days ago, and then everything started turning on, and things got started getting really exciting. I feel like it's been like that where I've been obsessed with this for so long, and then all of a sudden we're kind of back in it, and it sucks, and it's like, oh god, all of the things the things I thought were dead, they're turning back on. Like, this is terrifying.
Yeah. It's really scary.
I
Well,
thought
we know
we were
what
kind of
happens to
past
that
this.
doctor, though. So that-
Yeah.
don't
Ooh.
let's leave that analogy.
Yeah, that's maybe not perfect, but I'm gonna get killed by the tentacle monster.
And start speaking as a vessel.
Uh-oh.
Peace. No peace. So,
Wasn't that Data?
yeah, it was
Yeah.
Data. It's Brent Spiner or Spinner or whatever, however you pronounce it.
What do you want us to do? Oh man, I really like that.
Mhm.
Judd Hirsch is over there in the corner being all crazy. Oh man. So we will be back next week, myself and Donovan.
Mhm.
Back next week talking about Pokemon, which is going to be fun because there's a lot of satanic panic stuff about Pokemon.
You don't
Um,
say.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
And,
Alex. That's Alex's thing. I'm sitting in a room full of Power Rangers. He's literally sitting in a room full of Pokemon. So it's
Hell yeah.
Like I know nothing about Pokemon because it was such a hardcore embargo in our house. So like it's going to be interesting to try to even think of what the names of these Pokemon are. And this is like Pokemon the first movie, so I think there was still only 151 at that time.
yeah.
Mhm.
So like
So Alex's interest in listening has gone from totally to all of a sudden being like, no, I'm going to be so frustrated as they mispronounce these names.
Like, why are they saying?
Nidorina.
Do they not understand?
the subtleties and complexities of my little Shinto guys.
They pronounced Pidgeot's name wrong in the movie, and they're not even calling it out.
Listen, I think you guys are gonna have fun with that though. Like the philosophy of Mewtwo in that movie is
Oh,
that
yeah,
was
it's-
fascinating.
Oh my goodness.
That's what I
Whoa.
was talking about. I'm very excited to talk about is all of that stuff.
I
Uh-huh.
was blown because I had never seen it, and I'm just like blown away. Like American people let this be a kids movie in America?
Yep,
Mhm.
Yeah,
Okay,
buddy.
guys.
1999, baby.
I'm just
Again,
gonna say,
another 99 movie.
I'm just
Oh,
gonna say
yeah.
Mewtwo is right. So,
Oh my god, Jesus. So thank you again for joining us. Thank you to This Fire Podcast for having a hell of a lot of fun with us talking about this movie, and hopefully we can have you on again talking about
Absolutely.
something else.
Man, we'll have you.
Hell yeah.
We gotta have you guys on too. I mean, there's like plenty. I think for the four of us to talk about. So
for sure.
If you guys ever get to some of the Carmen crossovers, I would love to come on and talk about Carmen with you.
Absolutely. I mean, like, listen, like, I will say that we're going chronologically through Fire by Night. When we hit 1990, I think it is, we're gonna alternate between Fire by Night and Time 2, Carmen's
Okay.
show, because it's the
Hell
same.
yeah.
It's the same production staff and a lot of the same actors. So we're gonna kind of see how that's going.
on top of this one.
Basically, this is a Carmen original now.
Carmen presents.
So if someone wants to check out the This Fire podcast, where can they find you?
You can find us at acquirethisfire.com, where we've got links to the podcast and a contact form and all that good stuff. And then on social media, we have a Blue Sky and, at least for now, an Instagram at This Fire Pod. So you can follow us, and we'll update you on when episodes are coming. We should have something coming this coming week. So that was a lot of the words coming in that sentence, but
We're coming.
It's coming.
Just like Zion.
Big things coming.
Just like Zion, we coming.
That better be the cover art for this. Just like Zion, we coming with part 2 of The Matrix.
Asking, you shall receive.
So, if you like what you heard and you want to hear some more, we have episodes on our backlog. We've covered Power Rangers, the first Power Rangers movie. We've covered Blade, Beetlejuice, and other movies I can't remember right now. And if
Ninja Turtles, baby.
Ninja Turtles, baby, I really love those episodes because that's a great movie. And if you want to hear more of it, come back next week and we're going to talk about Pokemon. And we are at
Jesus.
Thank you, Don. We're Jesus.stole on Instagram. I'm Z Reynolds Writes on Instagram. And
I am _DJ DMed_ on Instagram.
And we are also gmail.com/JesusStolerMovies if you want to yell at us or flip us off or whatever. So come on back next week. Thank you very much to Mustard Plug for the use of the song Vampire for our theme song. And we will talk to you guys. Well, we will talk to you all later.
Bye.
Bye.
Peace.